Hey everybody, it's Bloggy time again, blog number 201. I'm not going to show you any comics today. Yeah, I've done my podcast today as usual. I've got to put my backdrop up. Just imagine this was always up. Does it really matter? I'm not showing any comics today anyway, but let's just leave it down. Yeah, I think everyone in the community is a bit bummed out today about the news about Comic Jabroni yesterday. I was doing a Skyrim stream and who was it? Someone come on and messaged me about it, Funk Comics, and I was like, what? And so I don't know if anyone knows the details yet, but it's like, wow, that's just it's just totally bummed me out. You know what I mean? I wasn't super friends with him, and I think, but I always seen him in streams, and he always seemed very engaging and friendly and full of life and bubbly and. I saw him when he was boxing up his boxes that he was selling to get. I hope I'm not mistaken. I'm sure it was because he wanted to get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. Wasn't that his grail? And he sold some boxes and he got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. I'm sure that was Comic Jabroni. I hope I'm not wrong because I just feel like it's like an idiot if I do. If it is, as I said, I didn't follow him a great deal. I only saw him mainly in streams and that. But I'm sure it was. Cause I remember he was packing up his boxes and he had his kids there to help him do the boxes up and his missus. And so yeah, so that makes it feel sort of even more sad. Like you got so much to live for and all that. And yeah, anyway. So I'm not going to show any comics today. In memory of Comic Jabroni, I'm going to show you the only bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff that I have. It's the role-playing game. I'd never even heard of the comic books. My mate picked up the role-playing game, so I picked it up as well myself. Yeah, so I hadn't heard of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at this point. By Eric Wujcik. A complete new game, compatible with Heroes Unlimited. Contains dozens of mutations, martial arts, ninjutsu, special training, adventure scenarios and more. Art by Eastman and Laird. So Palladium Books presents... What I'm going to do, I'm going to try and wedge this up here. Hold the camera. Let's see if we can get a better look at this comic book instead of my ugly face. It's not a comic book, it's a role-playing game, sorry. So I do a little flick through. From 1985. I remember I did a couple of role-playing sessions with this game actually. There used to be a comic called there is a comic called 2000 AD, and one of the stories in there was called Meltdown Man, where a bloke gets exploded in a nuclear bomb and he ends up in an alternate kind of world where there's things called UG, which are eugenically created sort of beings. So they basically take cats, dogs, any animals, and they make it sort of humanise them kind of thing, make them have more human characteristics, but then they use them as slaves practically. They're treated as third-class citizens. They can be sent to be recycled for the slightest reason. If you know, don't look back at a human or you'll get recycled, that kind of thing. So I kind of used that as my basis of my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles world. It's like I made it after the revolution and they had got their freedom more. My cousin's character was a private investigator, I seem to recall. And I didn't really play a great deal of many sessions with it, to be honest. But and I also put into it some books that I was reading at the time, some war books about a penal battalion that were forced to fight in the worst bits of the war, kind of thing. So I put one of my other mates' characters was a porcupine, and he fought on the front of the Badlands, which was also taken from the Meltdown Man series. So, and I remember there was a character I decided to make a superhero, but he was an elephant, so he was called something like Power Pachyderm or something like that. Yeah, I didn't play a great many sessions with it. I think the game in session was a bit difficult. The rules were not that easy to cope with. All right, let's see if I can find you some interesting pictures. There is actually a comic book. I don't know what. Obviously, it's from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. There we go. Here's some examples of dogs giving the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle treatment. But the idea was you didn't just play turtle. You could play any mutated animal kind of creature, and it gives you different animals and what their characteristics would be, what special talents and stuff like that. So there's an opossum. There's a picture of Splinter the rat. Here's a porcupine. Is that a wolverine? Yeah, there's a wolverine, and there's some little turtles. I think this is from the actual origin story of the. This is the turtles rolling around in the gloop, isn't it? And then we've got a Don't Judge a Book, 1985 Mirage Comics. Just give you like one page of, sorry, not one page, but one short story of the turtles. So they're going to a fancy dress party, so they're trying to dress up in fancy dress, so people can't see that they're turtles. And they end up getting into a big fight with some criminals. And then they, yeah, basically beat them up kind of thing. Oopsie daisy. I don't want to ruin my book. Let's move it over here a bit, see if I can do this a little bit easier. So one of them is dressed as an old lady by the looks of it. So basically all their costumes get destroyed in the battle. So they can't go to the fancy dress party, but they can. They just go as turtles, and no one realises that it's not just costumes. So you got like a Shannon the She-Devil kind of. You got a Darth Vader. You got a Spock, a Batwoman. Yeah. Not sure who that's supposed to be. Right, is that's what's his face in it? Casey Jones, is it? I believe. There's old Shredder fighting off some Shuriken. There's a few Ninja Turtle licks. Is it Donatello with the bow staff? I'm not too sure. I kind of missed out on that. I know they had loads of cartoons for a certain amount of time, but I was too old for the cartoons. I never really watched them. Getting on a bit by then. That bloke's got a sigh through the head. That's Raphael with the sighs, I believe. And there's just a bit about the weapons. So not an awful lot to show for you here. There's a little adventures idea on this one. There's that Wolverine again. Pain Bear, Fear Bear, Doom Bear and Nightmare Bear. They're like the Care Bears, but these are the Scare Bears, I think. Look at them. He's got the Scream, Edward amongst the Scream coming out of his skull chest emblem. I don't know if these guys ever appeared in the Ninja Turtles, the Terror Bears, it says here, the Terror Bears. Or if they were just created for this role-playing game adventure. Dr. Ferrell, the genius of Biospawn. That could just be like an adventure. He is too skilled for us to fight one-on-one, brothers. Use group tactics and hit him from a distance. I don't know if any of this art was done specifically just for this role-playing game book, or whether it all comes from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics. Yeah, I think this is the stats for the individual turtles. So you've got Michelangelo's stats here. So if you wanted to know who's got the best IQ and stuff, you could look it up in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles role-playing game book for the definitive story. And you got the TMNT origin, which is totally ripped from Daredevil. The canister that smacks Daredevil in the head, or Matt Murdock in the head, making him blind and I'm assuming giving him his powers, also smashes into a tank of turtles and falls down into the sewers. Unnoticed by the crowd, the strange canister bounced several more times, striking and smashing a glass jar which held 4 small turtles, you 4 as infants. You fell into the manhole, followed by the canister. Fortunately, a pile of dead leaves and papers broke your fall, but the canister smashed open, releasing a glowing ooze which covered your bodies as you crawled around in it. There's is it Splinter? Yeah, Splinter in it. I followed you down into the storm drain, and not knowing exactly why, I gathered you up in a coffee can. I took you to my burrow and washed off as much of the goo as I could. The next morning I awoke to find the can tipped over and the 4 of you doubled in size. Somehow that strange ooze had affected your growth. As I learned later, it had changed me also, making me more intelligent and larger. But I didn't grow as fast as you did. Within a year you'd reached your current size. You followed me everywhere I went, except above ground. I could not risk your being discovered. I was amazed at how intelligent you seemed, but even so, I was not ready for what happened one day. Splinter! One of you actually said a word, my name. More words followed, and soon you were all speaking. Around this time, you started to stand upright and copy my movements. Not sure if there's any more. Oh, yeah. I began training you then, teaching you all that what I had learned from watching Master Yoshi. I taught you the use of weapons, the art of stealth, and all that I knew of this world. In time you surpassed my lessons and became true ninja. Using a battered copy of a book on Renaissance art that I had fished out of the storm drain, I chose names for each of you. Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. Now I am old, and there is a task that I would have you perform before I leave this life. Now I must ask you to do that which no being should ask of another. I ask you to avenge the cruel death of my master Hamato Yoshi and his wife Teng Shen. I ask you to challenge and kill the murderer of Rukusaki, the Shredder. There you go. There's April O'Neil. Not sure who that guy is. Did it say there on this side? Baxter Stockman, that guy was called. I don't know. I'm sorry for showing off my sexy feet. Excuse the sexy feet. Casey Jones. And of course, the Shredder. Looking mean as you like. Some crow men. A brain dude. I think he used to be in the cartoons, didn't he, that brain dude? Not too sure though. Right, that's pretty much the whole book. So, there you go, a nice picture on the back. I think I've got a Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book, like a 3-parter or something like that, or a 2-parter. And I'm pretty sure I've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Savage Dragon in a comic book or 2. But that's it, that's the blog for the day. And, you know, my commiserations to everyone who knew Comic Jabroni, and especially his family. And, yeah, until next time, may all your news be good news. I'm not going to do a jingle today. So anyway, talk to you all tomorrow.